Good morning and welcome to the May 9th, 223rd Hempstead Town Board meeting. Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
I will. Councilman Carini.
Here.
Councilman Dunn.
Here.
Deputy Supervisor Gooseby.
Here.
Councilwoman Miller. Here. Councilman Muscarella.
Here.
Councilwoman Ryder.
Here.
Receiver of Taxes Janine Driscoll.
Here.
I now ask Councilman Carini to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Place your hand over your heart and repeat after me.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I would like to take a moment of opportunity. Today starts the observation of Police Week in Washington, D.C. 556 police officers will be added to the memorial wall on the 13th Candlelight Vigil. I want to thank everybody who serves in law enforcement throughout the town of Hempstead, and I'd like to take a moment of silence for those being added to the wall. Thank you, everybody. Thanks all who serve.
Okay, Madam Clerk, will you please call the first public hearing?
Yes, I will, Deputy Supervisor. We have a proposed local law regarding regulations and restrictions to limit parking in Franklin Square, North Lynbrook, Roosevelt, near Valley Stream, and West Hempstead.
Doesn't it? Yeah. Does any board member wish to speak? Chris? Nobody wants to speak? Is there anyone in the town hall who's here that would like to speak on this motion, on this item? No one? All right.
I move the public hearing be closed and the board adopt the item.
Second.
Deputy Supervisor Gooseby.
Aye.
Councilman Carini.
Aye.
Councilman Dunn.
Aye.
Councilwoman Miller.
Aye.
Councilman Muscarella.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ryder.
Aye.
The next item?
We have a proposed local law regarding parking or standing prohibitions in Baldwin, East Meadow, Elmont, Franklin Square, Inwood, Merrick, North Lynbrook, Oceanside, near Rockville Center, Seaford, Montauk, West Hempstead, and Woodney.
Does any board member wish to speak on this item? If not, is anyone in the public that would like to speak on it? If not, may I have a motion?
I move that the public hearing be closed and the board adopt the item.
Second.
Deputy Supervisor Gooseby.
Aye.
Councilman Carini.
Aye.
Councilman Dunn.
Aye.
Councilwoman Miller.
Aye.
Councilman Muscarella.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ryder.
Aye. Next item?
We have the proposed local law regarding arterial stops in Belmore, Elmont, Franklin Square, Levittown, Merrick, North Belmore, and Seaford.
May I have, would anybody, any one of the councilmen would like to speak on this item? If not, may I have a motion?
I move the public hearing be closed.
Oh, the public, sorry, I forgot about the public. Okay, is anyone in the audience would like to hear us speak on it? If there are no speakers, may I have a motion?
I move the public hearing be closed and the board adopt the item.
Second.
Deputy Supervisor Gooseby.
Aye.
Councilman Carini.
Aye.
Councilman Dunn.
Aye.
Councilwoman Miller.
Aye.
Councilman Muscarella.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ryder.
Aye.
Madam Clerk, will you please call the next public hearing on the moratorium?
Actually, one before that, we have a proposed handicap parking on public streets in Baldwin, Elmont, Franklin Square, Inwood, Roosevelt, Montauk, and West Hempstead.
Is anyone, a board member wish to speak on this item? If not, anyone in the public like to speak on it? Now, may I have a motion?
I move that the public hearing be closed and the board adopt the item.
Second.
Deputy Supervisor Guzman.
Aye.
Councilman Carini.
Aye.
Councilman Dunn.
Aye.
Councilwoman Miller.
Aye.
Councilman Mascarella.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ryder.
Aye.
Madam Clerk?
We will call the proposed local law regarding extending the temporary moratoria for an additional year in the Transit-Oriented Development District, Neighborhood Business Overlay District, and Residential Townhouse Roadhouse Overlay District for North Lawrence and Inwood, and Urban Renewal Residence C District.
Deputy Supervisor Guzman and members of the board, after further discussions with members of the community, I recommend to the board that we remove the Urban Renewal Residency District from the moratorium.
May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Would anyone from the audience like to,
Yes. I would.
Ms. McCutcheon?
Why is the Urban Renewal Residence District being removed?
It's being removed because after further review and discussions with the community, there's this project, this particular project, was passed by the town board some years ago, and there were questions as to what they had to do, and a lawsuit was actually started, and the lawsuit was settled, and as a result of that, they have to go back to the zoning board of appeals. So, based on conversations with our adversaries in that lawsuit, in which we've, up until now, very successful, we've decided to take that portion of the portion of the town and the moratorium.
What is exactly the Urban Renewal Residence District? What is that in the general sense?
It's for multi-unit housing.
And does that cover the areas of Lawrence and Inwood, you know, that the other moratoriums cover?
It does not.
It does not, okay. I was going to speak against this because I just want to bring it out that you never did implement the moratorium for the urban residence district to begin with on September 20th. Your deputy town attorney got back to me and never provided the documentation, and I searched everywhere on September 20th and all the following resolutions. You never did that. So I'm saying in the future you should implement the moratorium before you try to extend the moratorium, because I believe that was an error, procedural error. And you told me you were going to get me the documents, and you know they don't exist. And I just think that we should do things properly. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. McCutcheon. Anyone else? No?
Bless you.
Did we vote? Okay, yeah, roll call, please.
I move the public hearing be closed and the board adopt the item as amended.
Second? Who's second?
Second.
Deputy Supervisor Guzman.
Aye.
Councilman Carini.
Aye.
Councilman Dunn.
Aye.
Councilwoman Miller.
Aye.
Councilman Mascarella.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ryder.
Aye.
Would any board member like to speak on this now? As amended? And may I have a motion to that effect?
I move the public hearing be closed and the board adopt the item as amended. Second.
Deputy Supervisor Guzman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Miller.
Aye.
Sorry. Councilman Carini.
Aye.
Councilman Dunn.
Aye.
Councilman Mascarella.
Aye.
And Councilwoman Ryder.
Aye.
Okay. Now, should we call the administrative calendar?
Yes, on the administrative calendar today, we have items 6 through 46.
Administrative calendar? If any board member would like to speak on any of the items on the administrative calendar?
Yes.
Board member? If there, okay, no one likes to speak, okay, now we can call for our audience, you can come up now, according to Gloria Marecki.
Speak here, right?
Yes, 3 minutes, please.
The South National Water Authority Act was created, quote, to operate in the service area presently operated by a private utility in the southern portion of Nassau County, end quote. It justifies its legislation by saying, quote, a variety of factors have led to the cost of water for ratepayers spiraling out of control. Water is a necessity of life, which should be managed responsibly and affordably. A public takeover would provide greatly reduced costs for ratepayers. This legislation would enable a public takeover of areas serviced by New York American Water within the town of Hempstead, end quote. That was over a year ago, and yet it has not held one single public meeting to date. You let the ball drop again. There is no reason why the Water Authority has not reached an agreement with Liberty. If it had done its job, we would be looking at a substantial savings in our water bills and not a 42% rate hike. And then you unconscionably rewarded your appointed commissioners for doing nothing. Water Commissioner Laura Ryder was appointed to replace D'Esposito, and Commissioner Joe Baker is now a candidate for Nassau County Legislature. Apparently, as commissioners, they dutifully did nothing but make sure the town continues to get taxes from Liberty's ratepayers to the tune of over $12 million a year, taxes that residents with municipal water do not pay. You claim outrage that Liberty is raising its rates. We warned you that the rates would skyrocket once the 2-year freeze was over. You knew this was going to happen.
Mrs. Barecki, we were on record opposing the 42% rate hike. We're on record with the Public Service Commission. We don't have the authority to stop that. They're still overseen by the State Senate. And as you know, the North Shore Water Authority was awarded $1 million in financing for 5,000 residents. The South Shore Water Authority was given nothing by the governor for 110,000 residents. Now, the equivalent would be $22 million. Now, we have no funding. This is not in our purview. Right now, the authority is, I'm sure, trying to go over the assets of what it costs, do their due diligence. Because, yes, I agree, too, the water is too high. The New York State broke this water company. They provided no funding, and we'll be
Excuse me.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so the ratepayers have been paying for over 100 years millions of dollars that the other people don't pay. Take this $12 million that we're paying this year alone and use that. You know, it was never written into the act that the state was supposed to fund that. That's something that you guys made up. It's never happened before.
So you're okay with the North Shore, with 5,000
I was not okay with that.
Hatfield,
I was not okay with that.
but the 110,000 residents got nothing. You're okay with
I
that?
am not okay with that, and I actually fought for that, and I petitioned Governor Hochul for that. I understand that it didn't occur, but that's besides the point. It was never written into the act, which you are mandated to follow, that it would be funded by the state. That was never part of the South National Water Authority. So you have not met for over a year. And Laura Ryder now is a council person, and I assume you're appointing Ellen Stevens for being the replacement. But let me get back to what I'm saying. All right. You can't blame Liberty for raising its rates. Its purpose is to ensure that its shareholders profit. Your job is to protect your constituents. Your neglect and your... I'm going to finish this because I have to answer your question.
Thank you.
No, I'm going to finish.
No, you finished.
I am going to finish.
You interrupted her.
Most respectfully, Ms. Barecki, you can submit your comments and we'll make them part of the record.
I am going to submit not only that, but my letters to you to hold the meetings.
I just want to say for the record that we are opposed to the rate hike that will be given to the Public Service Commission.
Well, I'm opposed to the rate hike, and I oppose the town of Hempstead for allowing it to happen.
So, for the record, we are on record for opposing the 40% increase. And for the record, Long Island co-director.
You dropped something.
For the record.
You dropped something, Claudia.
Numbers, because he's got a documented history of having incorrect numbers. Have a good day, Mr. Recchi.
Okay, Ms. Carter Jacobs?
Yes, item 6, Unidale. Can I get some information regarding that location in Unidale, please?
I believe Commissioner Jowers will respond to that.
Good morning, Frederick Jowitz, Town of Hempstead, Department of Buildings. I think you are referring to 135 Morgan, is that correct?
I wouldn't know because I just asked what address is it. This is Unidale.
135 Morgan, okay, that is an open and abandoned one-family dwelling with a detached garage. We secured the abandoned property. To date, we are trying to reach a new owner of record, okay, but we have started the condemnation process.
Okay, and how long, sir, would that process, what would be the duration of that process?
It depends upon the courts and the legal system.
Okay, because you know that we have an issue not only in Unidale but across the town of Hempstead where people are using these abandoned properties as illegal shelters. So we do not want that to happen. We do have a neighborhood watch that are looking at these abandoned homes, but we would hope that this is moved very expeditiously.
If you provide us with any particular addresses, okay, we will be happy to investigate.
Thank you. We'll keep an eye on that one. Also, items 30, 31, and 32. Regarding the Roosevelt Field Water District, I do believe these, is Unidale Water District? We call it Roosevelt Field, we call it Unidale, within our boundaries. But my question is, can you give me the scope of the work that's going to occur here, please?
Commissioner Reinhardt, I believe, will answer that question.
Good morning, Commissioner Reinhardt, Department of Water. Good morning, on board. The work in question in these resolutions is actually in the Roosevelt Field Water District. It was a water district founded in 1963 to represent the old Roosevelt Field Air Base. So 30 is awarding the electrical work for 1-foot oxane improvements, to remove 1-foot oxane at wells 7, 11, and 12, which is looking at Dibley Drive across from Lowe's. 31 is awarding the plumbing work for that same exact job. And 32 is for the general construction for that job. I apologize, 30 was actually for the electrical for a booster station for the Roosevelt Field District.
So another question, the water towers are in Unidale, in the residential areas of Unidale. Why are they languishing? There's one right next to the Turtle Hook School that it appears to me that, I mean, the rust is unbelievable, okay? The deterioration and the corrosion is absolutely appalling. And why was this put over that water issue, that water tower, and that issue that we have in Unidale with our quality of water, our terrible quality of water? In fact, I'm on the phone several times a month with people. In fact, I have a neighbor right now who's fighting his second battle with cancer, okay? His neighbor's fighting a battle with cancer. And they're attributing this to the poor water quality in Unidale. And I just got a call yesterday from 2 people informing me of the color and taste of the water that is coming out of their faucets.
If you pass those addresses on to us, we will come out and we'll take a look at those situations. We've been flushing our hydrants the past few weeks. People got cards telling them we were flushing. That will result in discolored water from time to time. And regarding the 2 water towers we're discussing, as I explained in the past on this matter, Those towers will be taken out of service and painted once the 1-foot octane work is completed, because we have to take wells out of service to do this work, and we need the towers at that point to make up the difference.
So can you give me again the time frame for that project?
I believe next year in
Next
2024,
year.
we'll take
Next
them out of
year.
service.
So it's next year with Unidale, it's like kicking the can down the road.
The-
But we'll be on top, we'll stay on top of this, thank you.
The tank in question actually is the
And so
East
you
Meadow
do
Water District
understand
tank.
that Unidale is, has been identified by the Department of Environmental Conservation as a community that has been disproportionately disenfranchised. Environmental concerns?
Yes, we are.
Okay, good.
Environmental justice,
Maybe,
yes.
maybe they will expedite that. I'll have to, again, I have to write to the government local. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Next is Ms. Meredith.
Good morning. Currently, I missed the scenario with regard to English moratorium, but I just have some questions regarding item 9 and 10. The commercial rehabilitation program overall, just concerned or just questioning where is Baldwin in any of this commercial rehabilitation for awnings. I mean, if anyone decides to, if you can survive driving down Grand Avenue, where we call Grand Prix, there is no commercial rehabilitation. We have no continuity of building or structure. We have a lot of buildings that have whiteboard because cars keep driving through the buildings. Just curious as to what's going on with that.
Good morning, Deputy Commissioner Matt Kirsch, Planning and Economic Development. We are currently in the process of trying to pass this resolution to bring on the vendors for awnings and signs and electricians so that we can start the rehabilitation process involved.
Okay, so exactly where you want to be involved?
In the DRI area. So basically from the high school running all the way down to Merrick Road.
Okay. So the North Woods, or, you know, the dark side of Baldwin, once again, is going to be left out of the mix?
I can't speak to that, but this is the section that was identified through the state's award of the DRI.
Okay. All right, thank you. Number 18, this resolution, the cloud-based software. I'm sure we're all aware of the stories in Newsday, and they actually do get stories right and ahead of time. The cybersecurity concerns that most have with Suffolk County, Nassau County is not far behind them, and I'm sure the town of Hempstead, you know, with the relatives, so many relatives and friends and high-paid donors that have these major contracts. What kind of assurances are we getting that this particular project is going to protect residents whose information seems to be going, I don't know, China, Russia? It's definitely not going to the source that it needs to go to. So if someone can speak to that. And my clock is just a tick in a way. And yes, I will mention that.
I believe Commissioner Prim will respond to that.
Well, Ms. Conley, I do ask, why are we still speaking back here? I mean, everybody, most of you don't even have masks on. I do because I'm a caregiver and I have compromised conditions and these drugs are a problem, but why am I still back here speaking?
I'm not sure of your question. Security on the website, is that
The
what you're...
cybersecurity for that contract. What are the assurances as far as cybersecurity? Anything that goes in the cloud now seems to get to Putin faster and gets to anybody who needs that information.
All I can tell you is it's in the cloud, it's secure. I don't know what to tell you. It's a secure website.
Secure how? How is it secure?
It's secure through all kinds of malware, and it's on the company that we hired to take care of the website.
Okay, I'm sure that Suffolk County thought the same way, and Nassau County is avoiding that problem. What are we doing to protect our information overall in this contract and others? I get it, crickets, no answer. Thank you. 31, 32. The contaminated wells. I stand with Claudia directly as being a member of the Long Island Clean Air, Water, and Sewer. Soil, everything. The soil is soiled by the sewer, so it's just a problem that we're going to have to face here. The contaminants are high, and since folks just want to run that casino railroad right into us being the next version of Flint, if I can get an answer to the question for 31, 32, 34, 35. And I put my questions on the record before my time went out. I expect answers.
Your time is up, Ms. Mary.
No, my time is not up.
Your time
because
is
I put
up.
it on the record and I expect answers. Do we not have paid commissioners?
Ms. Patty Harris, is your turn.
Oh, I don't have any, so I'm not getting the answers to the questions that I put on the record during my time? So is that what we're living in now? Really?
Ms. Harris, would you please remove yourself so Ms. Harris can get her space?
No, but if I don't remove myself, I'm
Would
still
we ask
asking
someone to
questions.
do we have anybody to help her?
Somebody help me. Come on and help me with my poor herniated disc and walk in my shoes. With Councilman Caridi talking about walking in shoes. I was also walking in the dust of 9/11.
Ms.
If
Harris,
somebody wants to come up here and
your time is up.
remove me- If someone wants to come up here and remove
You
me,
asked-
when I put my questions on the record, 2 minutes to answer my question, sir. My statements, my requests were on the record. I'm a taxpayer and I expect to have
Deputy
my answers
Supervisor,
requested.
Deputy Supervisor, I'd ask at this time that we take a 2-minute recess.
All right.
What you gotta do?
Recess, 2-minute recess, please.
Camera's running, Mayor.
As long as the cameras are running. Take a recess where people cannot speak and get their First Amendment rights addressed here. So take 2 minutes, take 10 minutes. We're paying for it either way. And I will still stand here and wait to get my answers addressed. You don't want to answer questions about contaminated water? Are you kidding me? Get your line straight. Elections are coming up. Because we're still going to say no to casinos. We're saying it in Nassau County, we're going to say it in the town of Hempstead. Our waters are already contaminated. I'm waiting. I'm on my 2 Tylenol for the moment. I'm supposed to be on Tylenol. So this is interesting. Well, Pearl.
Yes.
While I'm waiting, I'm moving it up. I'm doing my Rosa Parks moment. I really need my plastic knife. This is ridiculous. I got moved from the back of the bus and then to 55, and I'm not going back in there. Not with these hot taxes. I'm still waiting for an answer. I know there's a paid commissioner here who can address the questions that I asked. Cameras are running, time's a ticking. I know there's a Newsday expose somewhere out here, because as we speak, somebody is taking the money out of taxpayers' pockets. How come they're not timing the 2 minutes?
Deputy Supervisor,
Yes.
Commissioner Reinhardt previously answered questions 31, 32, and 33, but I'm sorry, 30, 31, and 32, but we'll have him come up and respond to Ms. Maraday's question.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You see? I gave you on vacation.
I don't know why he took another $150 hour consultant fee to figure that out.
Good morning, Deputy Supervisor, Town Board, Commissioner Reinhardt. Your question regarding those was specifically?
The question regarding the water contamination has to do with the community, what involvement is, what information is going out to the public with regard to what is happening with the water, where the contaminant is coming from, what is going to be done to treat it, what will be their impact.
The work being done at these 3 wells is related to 1,4-dioxane, which is an emerging contaminant. It's in about 70% of the wells on Long Island. It's been a cover story in most of the major newspapers for the past 3 years. Our annual water quality report has an entire section dedicated to it. Our town website has an entire page dedicated just to this matter. Our quarterly reports on the amount of treatment we put in place, progress on those jobs, the schedules on those jobs is all on that same page. And letters are regularly put out, and bill notices are put out to customers regarding the emerging contaminants as required by law.
Okay, but the money that was expended to send to Governor Hochul about the affordable housing, that should have been used to notify residents to this water danger. That is what I'm saying. We are misappropriating resources to give public information. Water is vital to community residents, particularly in that corridor, when they're talking about the development. So that was my question with regard to that whole scenario.
Explain, we have many, many methods of notification on this matter.
And it's also in today's newspaper.
And again tonight, it's a continually running story.
Thank you, Commissioner. Ms. Faraday, with regard to the Inwood warehouse, the first resolution is a CEQA determination, and the second resolution, a public hearing was held, I'm told, approximately a year ago with regard to this project involving a warehouse and office space. To my knowledge, and it was before my time, there was no opposition to it, so this is the formal acceptance of it, something that's done at town board all the time.
Right, I understand that. It has been accepted, but you're still denying the community additional resource and development access by extending the moratorium. I just wanted that on the record. I'm good now. Thank you.
Thank you.
Patty Harris, Unionville. My question is for, I'll group it together, 30, 31, and 32. It might be Melody because today's his birthday.
Nice, happy birthday.
My question is,
It's the same question.
is the upgrades for these 3, 30, 31, and 32, is that because of the fluctuation of the high-end luxury living that is over there by Roosevelt Field?
As was explained before, this is to treat 1,4-dioxane, which is an emerging contaminant in the water supply. It has nothing to do with development. It doesn't increase productivity or production of any of the wells. It just removes this contaminant from the water.
Okay, so this is a part of Unionville. So have you done the one that is in Unionville by Turtle Hook on Jerusalem?
Those wells do not have high levels of 1,4-dioxane in them. Those are 4 of my cleanest wells and all 30 of my wells.
That's amazing. I would think they would be happy. Thank you.
We've actually installed, and it's pretty much progressed online, 2 wells in Unionville on Oak Street, right across from the UPS. You'll see those. That was one of the first plants we were building.
Say that again.
On Oak Street, across from UPS, which is part of the Unionville Water District. Wells 5 and 6, those are one of the first 1,4-dioxane plants that we built.
Oh, that's Oak Street is a part of Unionville. I thought it was part of Garden City.
No, it's part of the Uniondale Water District.
Can you tell me what side it is? Because I know one side is Garden City, and the other side is Uniondale.
No, it's across from UPS.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Thank you very much. Okay, that's the end of it. Does anyone else wish to speak who has, well, you're only no, you've already spoken.
No, I want to speak on miscellaneous now.
I'm sorry.
We didn't get to that
Your
yet.
time is up.
We didn't get that yet.
May I have a motion on the administrative calendar?
I move that we adopt the administrative calendar in its entirety.
Who seconded?
I second the motion.
Deputy Supervisor Boosley.
Aye.
Councilman Guarini.
Aye.
Councilman Dunn.
Aye.
Councilwoman Miller.
Aye.
Councilman Mascarello.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ryder.
Aye.
Okay. We have to stay for the public comment. Oh, may I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Did someone?
She said, yeah. Just me.
Deputy Supervisor Boosley.
Aye.
Councilwoman Miller.
Aye.
Councilman Guarini.
Aye.
Councilman Dunn.
Aye.
Councilman Mascarello. Councilwoman Ryder.
Aye.
Okay, we are now open for the public comment portion of the meeting. All right, Mr. Bill Picachi.
Chief Franklin Square. At the last town board meeting, Don Clayton criticized my statement regarding the renaming of the Ronald Reagan Plaza to the Dorothy L. Boosby Plaza. Although Mr. Clayton provided no specifics, he said my statement was vile and out of line. The other town board members applauded his remarks, and some also said my comments were out of line. Last week, on May 2nd, I emailed a letter to Supervisor Clayton, CCing the town council members, telling him that I disagreed with his assessment, but I am willing to keep an open mind, writing, if you or any of the town council members would like to tell me exactly what in my statement was incorrect or where I crossed the line, I will be more than happy to hear from you. I also provided my home phone number and offered to meet in person. More than a week has passed and I haven't heard from any of my town board critics. Residents who speak at these meetings have only 3 minutes to make their point. And this board picks and chooses which questions they want to answer. Some people get cut off immediately when the bell rings, others don't. Some people get answers to their questions, others don't. If any town board member feels I made an improper statement, it is their right to criticize that statement. But if that town board member is really concerned, and not just grandstanding for the audience, they would do more. For starters, in this particular matter, explain why the Ronald Reagan Plaza was renamed even without acknowledging the former president. On another note, the town refuses to respond to some of my FOIL requests. Can anyone help me with this problem? In particular, the one that has to do with what the payment to Moody's regarding last year's report. Can anyone help me with that? Mr. Clavin, several weeks ago, you tried to help a woman regarding the garbage on MTA property, even though this is not the responsibility of the town. The discussion went past the 3-minute time limit, but you did not cut her off when the bell rang, like you do to others. Today, you ignored my question regarding FOIL, which is the legal responsibility of the town. This was a live example of how people are treated unfairly. Can any town board member honestly say my question regarding FOIL is inappropriate across the line? If not, why can't I get an answer to this question? The town does not have any legal responsibility to answer questions at town board meetings, but they do have a legal responsibility to respond to FOIL requests. By not responding to FOIL requests, the town has crossed the line by breaking the law. Are there any town board members concerned enough to speak about the town's illegal actions? We had so many people at the last meeting willing to speak on the crossing of the line I did, not even mentioning the line I crossed. But today is silence. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your comments, Mr. Cochran. Let's see, who's next? Patty Harris again? Ms. Harris?
Patty Harris, Uniondale. Since, I guess they call you deputy, senior councilwoman, supervisor, who's I would like to let you know the reason why we're sitting in the front with T-shirts of Melvin Harris Jr. on is to protest about what you had stated to me at the last meeting. I still think it was offensive. And every time I come to this location, I will wear his T-shirt with his face on it and sit in the front. So you will be reminded until you publicly apologize to me. Thank you.
Listen, wait, stay. I do thank you for your comments, but you didn't listen to what I said. I said that your husband found out that he worked with my husband, and he apologized, and he was so nice. He's been very nice, and he's come to just about everything that I've had. And in many pictures that I've had, I never said anything, yet I told you how he changed. He was really a good man. So that's what I said, and you took it, you didn't let me finish. I did say that, and it was in our records. That's it.
No, that is not it, because I still have time. So let me say this to you. If you role play, because you know they do tape this, right? And you should make sure it's loud enough for you to hear. Because you were speaking to Ms. Jacobs when you said that man on Front Street. Now that man is Melvin Harris Jr. that is on Front Street. You disrespected me while you were speaking to Ms. Jacobs. I clarify what you said because you may have said that to your little side partner next to you, but you did not say that to the public. And if you did say it to the public, I would have denounced it. Because I'm going to say this to you. He worked with your husband, that's fine, but you up here in this seat, you said that to this whole area, pavilion, that was named, because they were talking about Ronald Reagan. I had nothing to do with it. I was sitting over here minding my business. I didn't even come here to even say anything to nobody. I just came here to sit and watch. But you brought me out of my pocket, for those who don't know, out of my character, for me to say something to you. Because my daughter, I brought here today, yes, she's somewhere else, but I brought her here today. So she wanted to support her dad. That's one daughter out of 3, okay? So let me say this to you. I never disrespected you until that day. And I was, let you know, silently, I was sitting in that front seat with my T-shirt on, so you'll know. When you give me a public apology, that's when I would say goodbye.
Thank you for your comment. Next person is Ms. Priester. Ms. Priester?
She'll never apologize.
Did she hear me?
I heard you, I'm here.
Okay.
Well, I'm here, first of all, also, it's Melvin Harris' birthday, also my grandson, Christopher Jacobs. Now, I'm going to read something here that he stated. If we agree to put down our petty differences and lift up the greatness in each other, then collectively we can change the direction of our communities. Now, saying all that, I'm going to say this. Mrs. Jacobs, which is my daughter, came from a family of means. She doesn't have to get up in front of anybody to ask for funding or anything. Most of the things that come in the community come out of her pocket and Vice President Heidi. Now, I resent what you had said about her because I looked at the tape 4 times just to make sure I knew what you said. And this is exactly what you said. In fact, my daughter stated, if it wasn't for Melvin Harris, Uniondale, parts of Uniondale would have been a ghetto. I have been up and down that street and seen garbage thrown in the street. The firehouses are beautiful, the library is beautiful, but people on that side of the street that have businesses, they were putting garbage and things in the street. And that's a main thoroughway. Now with that, you made the statement, it would have been a ghetto since you've been there. That's exactly what you said. I went to it, and now, first of all, she fights for the community. If it wasn't for her and Heidi writing letters all over the place, Jerusalem Avenue, people couldn't even get their cars up and down that street. And finally, after years, it was paved. Meanwhile, every other street was being paved in other areas. And another thing that really ticked me off, you can't make assumptions of people that you see here, because some of us come from means. That's why we're able to survive. And she married a man around the corner. I've known him for 46 years, and they've been married for 43 years, and he comes from a family of means, and that's Mr. Jacobs. Now, and I resent what you said about her. I don't like it, because I don't even know what a ghetto looks like, to be honest with you. And me and Meredith, thank you for taking us for the veterans. My son came out of the service after 30 years, a chief master sergeant, and he was deployed 3 times. And now, that's the type of family that Mrs. Jacobs comes from. Thank you.
And for your comments, anyone else? Let's see, I think I have one more person. Judy Catalo, which is Belmore.
Judy Catalo, Belmore. I'm reading a statement from Marcia Petrie, 34 Lee Court, Merrick.
Could you speak a little louder? I can't hear you.
Okay, I'm short. I'm sorry.
Okay.
As a lifetime town of Hempstead resident, as many of my friends and neighbors and acquaintances, I feel that we're not being heard regarding the importance of protecting our natural resources. Opinions, options on 2 board members, the tree preservation in our community doesn't take precedence. You are not thinking about your constituents and not their well-being. If you had public meetings for residents to speak out about their concerns and what they feel is important, you would have the first-hand knowledge that constituents want. Most people moved here because they love the peace in the tree-lined street, less noise, neighborhood feeling. What we have now is a township that lets people destroy everything that keeps us healthy. Why is the town of Hempstead the only township that feels preservation of our neighborhoods isn't important? Every other township, including Garden City, has tree preservation laws to keep residents healthy. The consequences of the laws aren't followed. Below is a small part of the Garden City's tree preservation legislation, making it desirable by protecting what's important. Isn't that right? She directs it to Supervisor Claiborne, who's not here today. Do you feel that these laws impede on residents' rights? She thinks not so, and this is section 188.
No, that's, you know. Oh, go ahead. No, go ahead. Read it.
Okay. Legislative findings and purposes. Since it's been established that the trees stabilize the soil, and the water control pollution by preventing soil erosion, flooding, soil air pollution, and lets us drink oxygen. And you're saying, Felix, I don't need to read the rest of this, or?
You read the whole thing.
The whole thing. Okay, very good. I will do as I'm told. Like many of us who are sitting here. As article of boundaries of the Village of Garden City, and to provide for relocation and replacement of the trees that might be destroyed or removed. Includes the practices of ridding, trenching near the roots, application of herbicides and other practices or actions that might be reasonably be expected to either immediately or within the course of time result in the death of a tree, but shall not include regular maintenance such as pruning and polarizing of the tree, since it's been established that the trees stabilize soil and control water pollution by preventing soil erosion and flooding. absorb air pollution, and provide us with oxygen and benches. Microclimatic effects, we have any, oh my goodness gracious, should protect and increase the property values over the natural barriers, noise, and provide natural habitat for the wildlife area.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for your comments. Diane Madden?
I'm sorry, I got confused.
Diane Madden. I don't know if you missed the headlines for News 12 this week, but it was more controversy surrounding the town of Hempstead Animal Shelter, Doug Geed. New bombshell accusation, Joe Arena, News 12 reporter. This probably cuts me more than anyone in here, other than the animals. One thing I admire so much, Don Clavin has been holding people accountable. Apparently that was done last week. And he was not taking any excuses. But that started to show and that changed. I urge this board and Supervisor Clavin to review the RFP that went out. You had a stellar candidate for that position who had authentic certifications, a proven background, pristine reputation. The objective for this position that extends to behavior and to the volunteer program and to the foster care program, second most important position in the shelter. That position should have a focus to train and qualify other employees so that when the shelter faces vacancies and absences, they don't have to all go around sounding like victims, like they're at a loss without a trainer. The objective for this person and for any person that's chosen should be, you really do have some great staff down there, to qualify them, to train them so that they can actually take over this position. They should be able to do that. The point and the fact that this first person wasn't chosen, I'd like to believe that it wasn't over a retaliation issue or spite or insecurity, because if that were the case, then we're going back years to the way the shelter was previously managed. They should be picking the best quality candidate with the most integrity that can train the staff and support the shelter, support the acting director, and certainly not be a total embarrassment to Don Clavin. He doesn't deserve that. He's been the first supervisor to actually do something, to take courageous steps and to move in the right direction, to reject excuses, to hold people accountable, and it's everything that we've been asking for. And the only thing in absence is that it's important to bring in professionals. And that's the difference. You can take a look at the town's website right now. They still have the Forever Valentine's Day. The town shelter's animal shelter Facebook page, 3,200 followers, still hasn't been posted on in 6 days. Please get on the right track again, and importantly, don't lower the standards, which I heard Mr. Blower was doing, or at least stated that. They need to ask for more qualifications. In 2011, they asked...
Ms. Madden, thank you.
I understand. I need to finish, please.
Jessica Rowe.
And
Jessica Rowe.
If I may.
Ms. Madden, please. Let's do this correctly. I know you know.
And I respect that.
Jessica Rowe, please.
Councilwoman Gooseby, this is utterly important for the board to hear.
We know what's going on.
This position had a title.
Thank you.
2016, it had
Most respectfully,
certification.
it seems that you have a written statement. Why don't you hand it in, we'll make it part of the record, and I'll get copies for all the town board members to read. Please.
No, I actually do believe the supervisor wants to fix the shelter. I'll do that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Jessica Rowe.
They have a regard for me because that was his promise when I ran against him. They have a regard for you. Don't run a campaign, I don't know what to tell you. I'd like you to do that, Joanne. I wish you would. I hope for you, Rita. I appreciate that. You like to get personally today, you ran for an office, so I might just do it. I'm so sorry.
Ms. Rowe, it's your turn.
can't hear you up here.
Can you hear me now?
Okay.
Hi, I'm Jessica from Elmont. I came here last month, so hello, good morning, town board. I just wanted to say thank you. I came here talking about the board trash receptacles at Elmont. I just want to thank the board, thank Kathy Malone, Mike Caputo, Sanitation Department, and Sanitation District 6 for your urgency. I just pray that we keep this momentum and continue to beautify not only Elmont, but the surrounding areas in Nassau County, whether it be decreasing litter and being more eco-friendly.
Well, thank you very much for your wonderful comments.
Thank you.
It made us feel better today.
Thank you.
Okay, the last person is Stephanie Chase.
Excuse
No
me, I
comments?
put my name on the list.
I don't have your name on here.
Claudia?
This is the second time.
Raise your hand.
This is what I have. I have you. I don't have your name on here.
Just stand up. Just go. Just go.
You were signing for the first part, but you
I
didn't sign
signed
for
it,
the
I
second.
told her 30, 31, 32, and public comment.
Okay, well, come on, speak. Yeah, we'll speak.
Come on, Pearl, we got a line now.
Excuse me. Could you please, you know better than that. If your mother was here, she'd get you. I know you know.
Are you an elected official or you somebody's school teacher? You don't tell me how to act.
Miss Meriden, disrespectfully,
She's disrespecting me
you can
again.
speak
Last time
with
she
any
told
time.
me that lady from Baldwin, and my name is Mita J. Meriden. If you want me to sit down because your system that you said your cloud is so perfect has left out at least 6 people. I'm just trying to move it forward so we can go back and get the jobs or keep people in the homes that are being evicted.
Thank you, Ms. Meriden.
So
You'll
I
have
will
your
sit
3
down
minutes.
and wait till I get to speak.
That
With
would
all
be
due
appreciated.
respect. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, now, Mr. Jacobs, you said you had a...
You called me, and so I'll go. And you really need to get that tablet or whatever it is straightened out. This is the second time it's happened.
So I'm here now speaking on Say No to the Casino Civic Association. Okay, being that the town of Hempstead, hopefully not, would eventually be responsible for the environmental inspection, I would like to say a few words about that. Uniondale, along with Roosevelt, Newcastle, and Hempstead have been identified by the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation as communities in Nassau County that are disproportionately disadvantaged related to air pollution and climate change. What does all of these communities have in common? The answer is that all of these communities are majority-minority communities that have been and continue to be adversely affected by redlining, disinvestment, environmental injustice, and also taxation without representation. A casino typically operates 24/7. The substantial increase in traffic would further compromise the air quality of these disproportionately disadvantaged communities. In Uniondale, we have a very concerning water quality issue. Residents frequently complain about the quality of their water relating to color and taste. Residents have confided in me of serious health concerns that they strongly believe are attributed to the quality of their water. And let's not fail to mention Hempstead Turnpike, a roadway that consistently ranks in the top 5 of New York State's most dangerous roadways. Hempstead Turnpike is a heavily used roadway, and at certain times of the day, this roadway is completely overwhelmed. I have seen time and time again ambulances that drive the medium on Hempstead Turnpike in the attempt to get residents to the Nassau University Medical Center. And data confirms that there is a strong connection between casinos and drunk driving accidents. You, our elected officials, are entrusted with making decisions that directly affect the lives of residents. Health, safety, and quality of life for all residents should be valued significantly more than any monetary gain that a casino maybe might bring, but will definitely destroy lives. Nassau County communities that have been identified as disproportionately advantaged deserve respect and consideration, and we definitely don't need a casino. And if you raise your magic wand and can make all those disappear, which I don't think you can, then you might consider maybe, hey, but now, the way that situation is with the environmental impact that would have on these disproportionately disadvantaged communities, we would say no to a casino. And if you don't vote no, then that means, of course, disadvantaged communities do not matter to the town of Hempstead. Thank you.
I don't have your name down here either.
Oh, okay. Let me just say like this. I just want one clarification. When you sign in, they're asking for the administrative calendar, the other calendar, every calendar, and public speaking. I told you I would like to speak, evidently in the transfer of debt. I try to never take nothing personal, and I give people respect. Because you notice there's always a pattern. That's why I was transferring to the officer the other time that I noticed things. Because you know, when you work for the public, you turn to be a trained observer. You don't disrespect people, but you're not blind to things. Thank you.
Next time you come in, let them know that you want to speak.
Good morning, all, and thank you for letting me entertain you for a second. On the back page, we had listing of the next meeting, and I just was curious because I know it's going to be a vote by the town, by the county on the 22nd. On the 23rd or the 6th, we're not even discussing my wife, so Elkin spoke about first the application of the casino. Because once that be done, I know this was go forward in court. And I know the issue by environmental impact for the water quality, air quality, and things of that nature. Now, I'm hoping the town attorney, who seems to be a decent, fair person, will let us know when the public make comments on the particular hearing on the 23rd or the June 6th. Because right now, and when we went to the county the other day, granted, Nassau County at the time, the town of Hempstead is going to get $1 million for, and sometimes when there's a lot of money on the table, people tend to do their moral compass. And out of curiosity, from my own clarification, on May 23rd or June 6th, when the town will do their part first, that whole process of the casino. Because personally, I know that in fact all the hamlets and the town, both north, south, and east, west of it, and also as a resident over 30 plus years, I just want to make sure my quality of life is not affected. And thank you for at least giving decent enough to pay attention to that. I appreciate it. Thank you. So if the town attorney can let me know what will be the process of public input for when the casino issue do come before the town, so people can at least speak their piece, I would appreciate it. And thank you for letting me speak.
Mr. Jacobs, when an application comes before the town board, the public will have ample opportunity to speak and be heard with regard to the application.
Will it still be a 3-minute limit, or will we be able to get more information before when we get the information submitted to us, we'll have ample time to look at the information being disseminated for us to have a better input to speak on a particular matter?
Well, most applications, you can go to the building department and you can get and review the application, so you'll have ample time, I believe, to review it. With regard to the hearings, I'm sure the town board's going to continue its policy of 3-minute hearing.
Okay, thank you, town. Because my whole thing is that, you know, when we went to the county yesterday, you can see it was tilted in a certain way. They said the next person that would be in line is in the town of Hempstead for their part of it. And I know you're in charge of both the area for environment impact and everything else. And as a resident, that, you know, when I first moved here, saying that what county is welcome to all, but yet common practice I see something different. I just want to make sure it's a fair process that everyone have the chance to voice their opinion. Thank you.
Thank you.
Claudia?
Okay, back to the Water Authority. Okay, you claim outrage that Liberty is raising its rates. We warned you that the rates would skyrocket once the 2-year freeze was over. You knew this was going to happen. It happened after Aqua bought New York Water and after American Water bought Aqua. This is nothing new. You can't blame Liberty for raising its rates. Its purpose is to ensure that its shareholders profit. Your job is to protect your constituents. Your neglect and your commissioner's failure to hold public meetings and negotiate acquisition of Liberty Water is the reason our water rates are going up. But apparently you don't care. So long as you continue to get your $12 million reward every year from Liberty ratepayers, your constituents. That $12 million that the town of Hempstead alone gets every year that other residents benefit from, goes into the general fund, the bills rolls and everything else, they don't have to pay the tax for it, and we do. So courts wrote you in December of 21 and asked that the town appoint knowledgeable, capable, independent, non-political commissioners. I cannot think of anyone more political than Ella Stevens. She has thrown her community under the bus before at her party's request. Once when she recommended cell towers on a temple, and again when she wrote a letter recommending a strip club in Wantor. Courts feels that she is appointed for the sole purpose of doing the town's bidding and will not work in the best interest of the people. Courts opposes the appointment of Ella Stevens. And going back to what Karini said, who, by the way, Long Island Clean Air, Water and Soil asked to meet with him on this water when he first got elected, and he refused, saying that he's going to do whatever the town board tells him to do. That basically was his response. I can show you that email. I can show you the email. But anyway, my point is that you say that the state's not giving you money. Ratepayers for the last 100 years have been paying taxes that people that have public water do not pay. We pay you $12 million this year alone, take $1 million of it, and then do the work that you need to do. And by the way, the way the Water Act is written, there's no way does it say that you are to get funding. So it's like you're applying for something that they don't really, it's not written into law. The law is mandated. And Laura Ryder should know this because she is the commissioner. I don't know, is Ella Stevens replacing Laura or Joe Baker?
Good day, Ms. Barney.
Can I answer that question?
Have a good day.
Please leave now. I gave you extra time, so please don't misuse it.
Who is she replacing? You're appointing a new person to the commissioner. One has to resign. Who's resigning? Laura Ryder, who is the council person now? Or Joe Baker, who's running for legislature?
It's a valid question. Answer her.
Councilperson Ryder has already resigned. There are 2 vacancies on the Water Authority board, and one is being filled today.
Joe Baker resigned as well? Who else resigned?
Mr. Baker has also resigned as well.
Oh my God, you guys are so political.
Just excuse me. Is there anybody in this audience who has not spoken? Who has not spoken? All right, he has not spoken, so let him speak first, madam.
Thank you, Peter.
Not a problem. Only for those of you council.
Good morning, Chris Baker, Uniondale, New York. I'm speaking on behalf of some of my neighbors. They live on Leslie Lane in Uniondale, and they brought to my attention that they're elderly, so they can't travel that much. But there's no gas lines on their street, so they wanted me to bring that before the town and ask what's going on with that. Yeah, there's no gas line. They did a project a couple of years ago with the gas line replacements in Uniondale, and they don't have no gas lines on their street.
Is that engineer here? Oh, would you come up, please? Lady, can I ask that question, lady?
Hello everyone, Brian Kunze, Commissioner of Engineering. Can you just repeat your question? It's about National Grid's installation of mains?
Yeah, they put gas lines right Uniondale a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
And one of the neighbors that I visit sometimes, they're an elderly couple, but they had informed me when I met them about 6 weeks ago. There's no gas line on their street. They live on Leslie Lane right now. No, a couple blocks on the high school.
Sure. So National Grid requires a certain amount of people on block to run a main. So if her and her neighbors get together, they'll make a group application up for them, and then that would warrant a main installation.
Okay, so probably I have your information, I'll get someone on hand to the car, they'll be contacting you.
Sure. And then is there a moratorium on the road? Did she say whether her neighbors were?
Well, the thing was, when they explained it to me, when they did the project, they did the block on this side, they didn't the street.
Okay.
Little grid north of
It sounds like they just need to submit an application.
Okay, so I'll put the applicant the information on prior to that tomorrow and in the car.
Yeah, just shoot me an email. I'll help you along.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, Ms. Merrick.
Have we covered everybody who's also been disenfranchised before I get
Thank you. I just asked that question.
Okay. First, I have to give a shout out once again to codes and building enforcement. John, all you guys, Dave Poker, for those who do represent us well and utilize our tax dollars, we do appreciate whatever attention we do get involved. And I thank you all for that, and also our public safety officers. I always want to acknowledge the work that they do behind the scenes. I'm also a part of the Say No to the Casino, but I already know, coming to any meetings in the town of Hempstead, that voted unanimously for segregated maps, you're going to follow the same company line. So I'm not even going to waste time for that. Too much is going on in the community, particularly with our veterans, the widows, our seniors, our young people who are leaving in droves, and a national conduct that supports elected officials bashing taxpayers who take the time to come here to be disrespected, disenfranchised, and basically disregarded. Enough is enough of that. But I still say no to the casino. I'm urging all residents to write to the governor, because the last stop is with her and the Gaming Commission. We don't want it here. Residents in Garden City have stood up, have spoken up. Uniondale has stood up. Hofstra University, proud alum of Hofstra University. Proud resident of Roosevelt, a community that was also maligned 2 weeks ago. Proud resident, and I am, as quoted 2 weeks ago, that lady from Baldwin. My name is Mita Jocelyn Meredith, just for the record. The water quality is already an issue, has already been spoken about. If there's another position that's available on that South Shore Water Authority, I nominate Claudia Barecki. It's time that we get people on these boards and organizations. You're always saying, well, you all want to stand up here and make some noise, make a difference. She's made noise, she's made an impact, and she's made a difference. I nominate her. She is the people's choice. Lastly, I again stress that we are not doing enough for our veterans. We're not incorporating them into contracting. Forget the minority and women piece. You've forgotten that so long ago, it's not even an issue. Especially when you have to have Jamie Dimon, the CEO and chair of Chase, who's been here last year, saying the efforts after decades, even with the increasing number of diverse people living here, Jim Crow suburban style still lives on Long Island. And it's right here in the town of Hempstead. And I will take my seat on my own time and my own dime. Thank you.
Congratulations again on your victory.
Till next time. Very good. How are you?